Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Testing, 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 testing. Hold on, man. Hold on, y'all. Check if my mic. I'm saying y'all is like y'all. Okay, yeah. So I ain't gonna waste no time. I'm gonna just get straight into this. All right. So this stream is about. Well, it was about. That's why I named it Logic. I couldn't really name it one specific thing because it was a few things I wanted to talk about on stream. Right. So, right. Give a little backstory. I'm gonna be vague so I can hurry up and make my point. Um, so today I was with my uncle and we went. So well, it's two things I'm gonna talk about. It's two things I'm gonna talk about this stream. There's two things I'm gonna talk about. Um, and before I go and explain, the two things are going to be about working or job, having a job, and also about women and men. Well, I'm gonna start off with the job first, and then since that's I talked about that a few times on stream, so we're gonna just go back to that and reiterate that topic, right? So today, right, I was I was at my grandmother's house, and I was helping her do something, basically helping her move into her new place, helping her move something to her new place rather, and we were talking about jobs, and she was telling me basically she was saying, now I'm gonna say, and the only reason why I'm speaking on this now, right, because it's hard to explain stuff to certain people that don't look at things the way you look at them, and also that are what's I don't want to be offensive, that are so caught into this modern day cycle of life. Go to work, wake up, go to work, go home, go to sleep in the same cycle. It's hard to talk to people like that. That only has one way of looking at things, you know. Um, and women, and my grandmother, she's a woman, so that makes it even harder. So it's hard. So I said a few things. Once she didn't get it, I kind of backed off, and I was like, I'm gonna stream tonight, and I'm gonna bring this up on stream. So, however, back to my point. So she said, I was saying like at certain so basically I was saying that at certain jobs, at jobs, no, how I brought it up, I was like my mom, she works at a particular job, and my mom said, Jew, you can come work with me if you want to. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. Simply because I know how I am as a person. I know me, meaning if I'm at your job and people are talking to me in a certain way that I don't like, if they're being somewhat disrespectful to me, and as a young man, I'm not going to take disrespect lightly, and it's not going to and it's not going to matter the situation of where I'm at or anything. Disrespect is disrespect, because it's a it's a as me being a young man, as me being a young man, or as me being a man considerably, right? According to my age in society, right? Me being a man, respect me, respect. no matter where the location, no matter if you're quote unquote above me in this particular and you at a particular position above me, it does not matter. Still show respect and talk to me with some type of etiquette, right? So what happened is I was like, I want work at my mom's job because I know me. And if these people that's some probably she's probably cool with at her job, right? I don't want them to say anything to me that the people that she's cool with, and then me and that person get into it, and then I know my mother is not gonna like them people arguing with her son, so now she's getting involved, and then I get fired or whatever, or I leave, and my mom is still there because now I didn't gave them a bad relationship. Now my mama and they're walking on eggshells because of me. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. That'll put her in a bad spot, right? Um, so me saying that, my grandmother had said something along the lines. She said, well, you have to you have to bite the I mean, no, she didn't say you had to bite the bullet. She said you have to have self control because you're going to go through that at every job you go to. Okay, right? Because and she said because everybody wasn't raised like you, even though you shouldn't raise people, but that's a different topic for a different day. Um, she's saying everybody wasn't raised like you. Everybody don't have the same values as you, so you're always going to run into people like that. So you have to expect that. Okay, so out of all these years of this person possibly all these years that this person possibly have been working, they never had ran against no person, nobody that stand up for themselves in a certain way. And if and if that and if that is the case, right? If nobody haven't stand up for themselves in a certain way towards this person, that shows a lot, right? But and it just shows you how much people are just willing to take disrespect as men, or I'm just say the men are willing to take disrespect as men, right? How much disrespect you willing to take as a guy, as a man, right? Um, and this is how I look at it, right? This is how I view it. Well, just like how I'm, if I go to a job and I'm expecting somebody to talk to me somewhat crazy or talk to me disrespectful, is why talk to somebody disrespectful as, as you being the higher up or whatnot, and um you don't know who I am, you don't know my background, you don't know where I come from, and you just feel like that it is okay to talk to me disrespectful, and you don't know anything about me, so you don't know how my reaction would be because you're so used to it. And she said, "Well, that's something that you got to get used to." So I have to get used to people talking to me crazy and me not able to do nothing because I want to keep my job. I want to keep a job. Uh, nah, nah, not me. Personally, not me. I just can't do that. I can't give up my dignity and my and put my morals to the side because I want to get keep a job. And she goes on to say this. She was like, it's about having self control because Well, they was like, no, call. Then they was like, well, if that person keeps bothering, oh no, no, no. What happened was, she, I was like, then what about if I say something to them? If I say something to them, if I don't get super erratic and I'm to the point where I want to fight this person, but I just cut into them verbally, and I say something to them and they don't stop, and then they still talk to me a certain way. Well, tell somebody that's above them. I'm like, bro, first off, as a dude, now I said snitching to her because I had to put it in a way to the point where she can, because we know snitching is not a thing unless you a part of that, a part of a certain lifestyle, right? We know that. But I have to put it in, and I had to put it in like lamest terms for her so she can understand as being a woman, right? But really, as a man, you handle your problems on you handle your problems yourself. When it's problems like that that you can solve, when it's problems like that you can solve. Now, let me not so let me get this straight before I continue. Now, if you got a problem with, let's say you got something wrong with your car, I don't know, your your auto your transmission gone, or 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 something wrong with your power steering and it's not the fluid. If it's anything like that and you're not a mechanic, well, yeah, yeah, and because that's a problem of yours. That's somewhat, that's a problem of, that's your problem. That's your car. That's your problem, right? But you are not a mechanic, or you just are not good enough in that field to the point where you can fix on a car, right? So back to my point. Back to my point. I am not going to go to a job. First off, I'm not going to go to a job, give y'all all my time. That's one. And then I'm coming in here and I'm getting talked to crazy and I have to accept it just because, oh, I want to keep some money. See, people like that. I'm not saying my I'm used to calling her Gigi. That's what I call my grandmother, Gigi. But I'm used with my grandmother, right? With what? Now I'm not saying her specifically. I'm not saying her, but people like that you have to watch out for. And you may ask, why do you have to watch out for them? And if you do ask, I'll tell you, right? This is why you have to watch out for people like that. That means that they will do, and it's so simple. That means they will do things that goes against their own morals for money. So if they can break their own moral structure for money, what makes you think you can hang around them and they won't break yours? That's one. If you don't even go by your own, let me and I'm a, and I'm gonna give you an example, right? I'm a, I'm gonna give you an example. If this person don't take care of their shoes, every time you see them, they get a brand new pair of shoes. The next day they wear them, they messed up. Now I'm gonna ask you, if that person asks you to loan him, or not, let me not say loan, or let him borrow a pair of shoes, would you be super accepting without questioning letting him borrow a pair of your shoes? You really wouldn't, because you see how he take care of his own shoes. So you will be skeptical, or really not want to let him borrow your shoes because you see that he don't take care of his own, right? So again, If somebody break their own, what makes you think they won't break yours? Right? If somebody if somebody is junky at their own house, if somebody keeps their house junky, what makes you think they come to your house, eat some food, and leave the wrapper on the table, and if it's still there, you shouldn't be surprised because they do the same thing at their house, right? So so I just gave y'all that example, right? Back to my point. Back to my point. So, however, 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 people like that you have to watch out for because they would do things like that. And when she said, well, you tell somebody that's above them, like HR. If y'all don't know what HR is, human resources. You tell people like them. And I say, hmm, why? And I'ma still get in. Don't think I forgot. I still remember about the women. And I don't know. Should I do that? No, I'll talk about it this stream. I'll talk about it this stream. I was gonna think should I do it a different stream, but I'll talk about this stream. But however, um, she said, tell the HR, tell human resources, and I was like, as a young man, I'm gonna handle this problem on by myself. He's talking to me crazy as a man. First off, hold on. Scratch that. Man, not scratch that. Let's talk about this, but let's say, for instance, I had a family at home, right? I got a wife and I have children, right? Let's say that. And I'm the leader and I am the leader of my household. I'm the leader of my household, right? And I go to work and then somebody talk to me like I'm a peasant. That's one. And then for two, and let's say for instance, okay, they talk to me like that. I just okay, it's whatever. I'm at work. I'm expecting that. But as me being a male, I have a family. I have I have children, and I go home. Me, no, 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 no. And I snitch or not snitch. My fault. Excuse me, my fault. I snitch, tell, and I'm not meaning snitching as in the gang way. I'm not mean. I tell that somebody is bothering me. Just imagine you going back home and telling your wife, "Yeah, man, this dude kept bothering me, and I had to." Well, you shouldn't be going home complaining to your wife, anyways, in general. But just imagine you complaining, but on top of the fact you telling her that, "Yeah, I had to go to HR. I had to tell on what's her name. He kept bothering me today." It makes you look so weak when you do that. As me being a man, I'm not about to go and tell. I'ma handle that myself. I'ma handle that myself. He's bothering me. He's not bothering them. He's bothering me. So therefore, he's bothering me. I'm gonna take care of that problem myself, whether it's verbally or physical. I make sure it's verbal first, but if that person want to get physical, then I'm not ducking nothing. So that's what that's that. And she say, well, um, she says something about it's about you tell you're telling on him to protect your job or to protect you're telling to protect your job or to protect your money. And I said, well, if you if you if you do that, you are also not to be trusted. If you are willing to tell and not stand up, I give women a slight pass. But as a man, when you tell, when you tell, first off, it shows no leadership. It shows no leadership. That's number one, right? And I may add too, when she thought I was meaning it snitching in the jail like way, or and not in the jail, my fault, in the in a gang or in the streets involved type way, when she thought I was meaning it in what in a manner like that, I was like, well, when you go to prison, or when you're getting interrogated, you tell on people to protect yourself, right? Right. So it's not the same thing. You tell on somebody to protect yourself from losing your. So it's the same thing, right? Even that's how I was explaining it to her. But like I said, we know that's bullshit. That's only if you involved in that type of lifestyle. That's the only thing when snitching do it is involved, right? Um. So now you have that, and another thing I'm going to add. A few more things I'm going to add. So I'm gonna go back to my first point that I had made, or one of my first points. I said I am not going to go up to this job, give y'all all my time, and I'm coming up here and I'm getting talked to crazy. And technically, I am not able to retaliate because I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to bite the bullet and just get talked to disrespectful, just because I have to go into work expecting that. I have to go into work expecting something, and that I have to go into work expecting something and being okay with accepting that. But I'm knowing if we was on the streets or outside of this job, that would not happen. And going against that's like me going against the true way I feel towards a situation, which is not okay with me. Because if anything, that's just going to cause that, I'm not going to say me, that is just going to cause that person more stress, because you got to come to work, you getting talked to crazy every single day, and you know that you don't like that. You're not okay with that, but you accept it simply because you have to be there. You feel like you have to. You have to. That's your only option, at least at that current point in time, that job, right? So that's adding more stress on that person, because I'm going in here. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Another one. Give you an example, right? Let's say this person been smoking a lot, a long time. They've been smoking for a long time, a long time. Let's say they've been smoking. Let's say they've been smoking cigarettes for a pretty lengthy time, right? And they stop. They stop. They just stop cold turkey, right? They cut off that. But they cut it off, but they still fight the urge to smoke one. And you know what you do when you fight urges? Because in a sense, your your body is, in a sense, fiending for it, right? In a slang term, you want it because that's something that your body has been accustomed to, has been used to for so long. So in a sense, you crave it, but you don't do it, right? You don't do it. And maybe not forever. I'm not saying forever, because after a while it's just going to become like, it's going to become normal, relatively normal. But for the first couple months, weeks, maybe months, even a year for some people, your or years even. When you fight the urge to do something that you truly want to do, it causes more stress. When you fight the urge to do something that you want to do, you like, I want to, but you like, I want to smoke this, I want to smoke this, but you don't, and it's causing more stress. Let me give you an example. Let me give you another one. Have you ever been thinking about something, right? Have you ever been trying to actually remember something so hard? You have, and you think, you, as people will say, you will think a little too hard, and your head, and it'll somewhat like make your brain hurt. It'll somewhat like give you a headache once you if you thinking too hard. In a sense, look at it as like the urge of you knowing or trying to figure out what you're trying to bring up is like this close, like you know what you're talking about. Like, let me give you an example. Like, like you know that I seen this person, I seen these two people fight at this, I seen two people fight, but you trying to think of the location where it was at, or you trying to think like, man, or you Shakur Stevenson and Tiafimo Lopez, they had a fight. You like, damn, I remember the fight, but damn, and you're trying to think so hard about the arena or the stadium that they fought at. But you know certain, and you like, damn, what arena they fought at, and you thinking about it so hard, or stadium they fought at, you thinking about it so hard, because the urge of you knowing is like so close, because you already know just that little piece of information. So you know that you truly didn't forget. It's the memory is still there. It's just not as vivid as it once was. And once you think about it too hard, it'll start making it'll give you a slight headache, right? Or people or they feel like a sensation of like they like they like the side of their temple pulsating or vibrating, because the thinking has became too hard, right? So it happens, and and that's like, in a sense, just look at that. It's like your brain going under too much stress, because your brain is urging, or certain parts of your brain is urging to try to find out or to try to remember what this is, but you yo you don't remember what it is, so your brain starts getting it starts going under stress. That's why it'll start pulsating, or feel like your head is starting to vibrate when you think too hard about something, and you can't figure what you're thinking about out. Same thing when you smoke and you stop, it'll cause stress. It'll cause stress, because you have the urge to do it, but you're not doing it. So back to my point, when I was saying, if I go to a job and I'm fighting my urges to speak up or to really do as I feel in that current moment to that person, that's going to cause me more stress. So I'm giving up my time, I'm giving up my dignity, I'm giving up my mental health, if you will. I'm giving up my mental health. I'm giving up three things. I ain't gonna say three things, but I'm giving up all these things just for some money, just for I can get my check at the end of the week. I'm giving up all this just for that. because the money is not going to help the mental, because I'm still at this job getting my check. And if you got priorities, most of the time you can't really enjoy your check, right? Because it goes to certain things, bills, rent or car note, whatever, right? Payments you got to make. So you go back to work indulging in this same cycle of stress all over again. So the money is just a band-aid. But soon as you then soon as you go back, so your check hit on Friday, boom, you get Saturday, Sunday off, you go back Monday, the same cycle repeats itself. And you only happy when you get your check momentary, and it starts again, and it restarts again, and it restarts again. Who wants to go through that? And eventually, and if you bottling stuff up so much, you're gonna break, whether it's on that person or just break out into madness as a whole. It don't necessarily have to be there or to that person, or it may be, but that's causing a lot of stress on one person. Them holding back the natural urges their body feel, that they feel in that particular moment, of them wanting to say something to that person or do something to that person, but they're not going to do it because, and you're thinking, as the individual, you are thinking, if we wasn't in this job, this would be a totally different story. But you in this job, so you are fighting your urges to do how you are fighting your urges to do how you feel in that moment. And when you fight that urge to do something that you want to do, that puts you under more stress. It puts you under more stress. And me telling a and me telling a HR person it's not going to happen. He's a man, I'm a man, a young man. So I'm going to handle that myself, right? So it's it's like, and then it's this too, right? And I also want to say this: parents, mothers specifically, I'm going to speak on here. Well, fathers too. Y'all tell your children, if your children don't like that type of environment, people talking to them any type of way, this and that, and you tell them it's okay, just get used to it. Okay, let me tell you this. Before I get to what I was about to say, you get used to stuff. You would typically want to get used to stuff that you like. Let me give you an example. Or scratch that. If I running every single day, right? If I'm running, jogging every single day, my legs may hurt. But I'm jogging for a reason. I want to stay in shape. So it's something I enjoy doing. That's something I wouldn't mind getting used to. And I'm putting myself in that situation purposefully, willingly. I'm putting myself in this situation. So I expect for my legs to hurt if I'm running every single day. That's something I expect, right? If I go to work and I don't bother nobody. I'm typically to myself. I'm respectful and I get treated disrespectfully, that is not something I expect and nor want to get used to because I'm not doing anything to get disrespected by nobody, right? So it's so like that it's even if you go on to say things such as, well, um when you go to a job, you have to expect that type of behavior from people. W- Okay, well, same thing. Well, okay, well, I can say this. Well, they should expect. They should expect. They should be expecting somebody to. They should be expecting somebody to come in their job and not be taking that and taking no bullshit. They should expect that too. Just like I should expect them to be mean, they should expect me to be this way too. See how that dumb that sound? But they don't. You wouldn't expect me to be like. You wouldn't expect me to be like that, right? Though, if I'm coming into your job, I'm new. You wouldn't expect me to be like that. If you're not doing nothing to make me get like that, same thing. I wouldn't expect you to be like that if I'm not doing nothing to get you like that. So it's like with me, or to take you to that level of aggression towards me, right? So what I say this and when I say this, I mean this, right? First off, you already know how I you already know what I say about jobs on my stream and working and how money really fucks a lot of stuff up, right? And how it's to divide people and to separate people because what more money causes more ego, causes more division, causes more um I'm better than you, you're not on my level, um you can't be around me because you don't make nothing. Females, I can't talk to you if you don't make this amount of money. So it separates her from actual maybe a good guy, and then she may get with somebody that got money but terrible people. So money, it fucks up a lot of things, and a lot of people don't understand that, right? It fucks up. It fucks up a lot of things, right? It messes up a lot of things, right? And I tell my grandmother, I'm like, well, I tell her this. Well, I didn't. No, no, my fault. I didn't tell her. I didn't tell her this. I didn't tell her this. My bad. Um, so I say, so I say, so this is what I'm thinking, right? This is what I am not about to come here and hear this person talk to me recklessly, and I'm knowing. Now, people may not agree with it. People may say I'm crazy for this. I don't know. Right? I don't know. I don't know. But this, let me tell y'all this. Y'all know Myers, right? Now, it was something back in the day or a while ago. They asked. This was around like the what era was this? Back in like 2021 or 2. It was around like the Kanye West era when he was going on podcasts and stuff. It was around that era, right? Um, it was something they had asked, not on one of his podcasts, but it was a question that went around at that time, and they were saying, who was the best quarterback in the 1930s or something like that, right? And and you think about it, it's well. Was black people able to be in a football league back then? No, I don't think so, right? So we were at a so it shows you right there. It's not fair. It only could have been a Caucasian person, and at that time, our people were still slaves in particular areas. Were still slaves. We weren't even allowed in the league. So we were at an unfair advantage. So we couldn't even have anything or no type of history that could trace back that far being in that sport. Another thing, get in your car, drive around, right? Just drive, right? Just drive. Go to all these stores. Go to all these big name stores. The majority of these stores, these big stores. I'm talking about Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, all these stores. Myers, Kroger. Go to all these stores. Go to look at every street name that you see that's in your neighborhoods and just search all these names up. Most of these people are white people or people that own slaves. And I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going somewhere with this. So, point being is when you look at these stores, when you look at these streets, they are blatantly telling you in your face, or they are not telling you, they are blatantly showing you in your face all the achievements that their Caucasian racist ancestors have created. Or I'm not even going to go as far as say racist. I'm just going to say Caucasian ancestors have made. It shows everything as far as stores in these streets, damn near everything represents them. And they show you that every single day. Every time you go into a store, just know it's not owned by nobody like us, more than likely. If you go to most of these streets, it's not named after people like us, more than likely. It's not. It's not. Yeah, they got MLK streets. They got Martin Luther King streets damn near in like every state in America. But um let me say this too. But that's even bullshit because they don't even give you the last speech that Martin Luther King gave. They don't even give you his last speech. They give you that bullshit I had a dream speech, right? Even though that wasn't his last speech. If y'all know, y'all know. Um, that wasn't. So, and I know the name of the speech and all that, but I ain't gonna get into that. Because I don't want to get too. Because I'm making a point of what I was originally talking about within this job shit, right? Um, when you look at this, this is they are showing you all their achievements, and all their achievements was created or done when our people were still slaves when we didn't even have no chance, and they are still showing it to this day. All these achievements that they have created or that they have made, which is when it comes to these stores or having a name on all these streets, was when our peoples was still enslaved, when we didn't even have a chance to be great, and they still show it. So, which means they're showing dead in your face. We don't care. We don't care, right? We don't care. For, for an example, and I'm gonna get and when I make this example, I'm gonna go to my point. I'm gonna make my point, right? So if let's say I got a car, right? I got a car, and um, let's say I have a car, and my car was okay. Hold on. Especially, I got something even better. I got something better. Hold on. So if I have a let's say an let's say I got a T-shirt, right? A a nice looking T-shirt, a nice looking T-shirt, right? And give me, I'm trying to gather, I'm trying to gather. Know what? Scratch it. I can't necessarily find an example, but it's there. Meaning, what I mean is, it's if they have people that's like I said before, if their achievements is still here while our people was enslaved, and they still have them here right now, right? They still have they corporations and their businesses here still. So in a sense, they showing you, hey, we got this when y'all was slaves, and y'all still y'all are y'all technically are not slaves no more, but we still, we still got our businesses off of money when y'all ancestors were slaves, right? However, so my point being this: if, not if, I am not going to go into a job, and this is more than likely owned by one of them, and then I got somebody in this job that is talking to me super crazy, and I'm about to stay here and support s- an establishment that was created off of basically slave money, more than likely. I'm about to stay here at an establishment that was made off our ancestors being slaves, and I'm getting talked to any type of way, and I'm not, and I can't do anything about it. No, it's not going to happen. It's not. And she say, have self control. Have self control. Well, it's easy to say that when, like you say, like how she said, you don't have the same values as me, if you will. I am not going to sit there and let another man disrespect me. And my excuse of letting him disrespect me is because I need I need to keep money. I need to have money. I need to make it to the end of the week to get my check. That's almost like a pimp when you think about it, right? That's almost like a pimp. When you look at a pimp have workers. They make him money, but they also make but the pimp also give them money, but in a sense he got them out on the streets giving their body up, disrespected themselves or disrespect them himself. You get where I'm going with that. So it's almost like that. You take disrespect for a little bit of something, a little bit of money, or even if and money in general. You take disrespect for this amount of money. You take disrespect for money, and when you allow that as a dude, as a man, young or a young man, even that's almost like you are getting pimped out. That's almost like you're getting pimped out. And as a man, I don't think it's very. I don't think it's very. I don't think it's okay for you to be okay with being pimped out as a man or a young man. I mean, I would hope y'all would agree, right? So, um, with that, um, or certain women, they got, or it's almost like women behavior as well, if you will. Even though I don't agree with women being like this, but women, they stay with men, and it's majority women. They stay with men no matter if the man disrespecting them or not. But long as the man is giving, if the man is giving them money, buying them this, buying them that, buying them this, they are going to stick around. And I'm not doing that just because the man do certain things for them, and they feel that, and they still feel entitled to stick around just because that man do a lot of things for them, but in the same sense still disrespect them because the man feel like he can disrespect her because he noticed he's doing a lot for her. So he's like, okay, I can disrespect her or do certain things I want because I'm providing the lifestyle she's living, right? So I don't ever want to be in no position like that and no job. Oh, because you got to come here to make your money to provide the lifestyle you're living. So, we are okay. And me being in a higher position than you, I can talk to you any type of way because I know you still have to come here or you're still going to come here, right? I don't put myself in situations like that. Or if I do, I ain't gonna say I don't put myself in situations like that because it might happen. It might. Um, um, but I am. Hold on, wait. My bad. Give me a second, y'all. Okay, my bad. But I am not putting myself, and I'm not. mm, Um, if you talk to me in such manner, it's going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue because that's telling me that you, as a man, you will give up your morals, your dignity, your self-respect. You will give all that up for some money. And when you are like that, and when you are a person like that, you are not to be trusted. You are not to be trusted. That's almost like if y'all if y'all live in like certain areas like the the hood, um, y'all ever see them little posters that be on like certain stores like $10,000 reward, $50,000 reward, and you hang around me, and you a person like that, I can't trust you. Cause when you see that and you know I want it, you're gonna probably tell. You give the notion that you what's based off how you are. You give the notion that you are going to tell on me because you will give up your own self respect for money. You will let go of your own self respect, your dignity, and your morals for money. So what makes you think if it's an easy $50,000 that you can make just like that, just based off telling people my location and where I am located, people like that, you can't be around. I'm not saying all people are like that, but take an eye to it. Look at it. Pay attention to it. Them people like that would do something like that, and then it shows. And then based off when you do stuff like that, it shows just how much work how much you worship money. Because you will let all that stuff bypass just because of money. So in a sense, it shows how much you put money on a pet. So that's showing that you put money above yourself, your self respect. You put money above your integrity. You put money above your dignity. You put money above your morals. So you put that on a pedestal, and they know that. They know that, and they use that to their advantage. And the very thing they made, and when I say they, y'all should know who I'm talking about. And when they put money on this planet, the last people to make it here on this earth, running shit. The last people to make it here put money on this earth, and y'all worship it more than anything. Y'all put it on a pedestal more than anything, and it's especially us. It's especially us. We always gotta show. We always gotta show money. When we on social media, you got young people like my age or a little bit older, even younger, money spreading. Gotta post what type of how much money they spent on clothes. They gotta post all the gotta post gotta got money spreads. Posting car well posting vehicles, just to show they not necessarily showing the money, but they're basically doing that to show how much money they got, especially if it's a luxury vehicle. Posting their clothes, posting all designer just to let you know how much money they spend on it, or posting money, doing money spreads, things like that. It shows it's dead in their face. They see how much we worship money. They see how much we worship money. But if our people can get up, if our people can fucking rebel against that, if our people can rebel against that and gain more morals, more integrity, and things like that, I'm pretty sure we'd be in a better spot as a society. We'd be in a much better spot. You go to a job, a, a parent go to a job, they get all her energy. If it tech quote unquote, they get all her quote unquote energy, right? And then she's coming back home and giving her, so if her energy is 100%, they didn't use 80% of her energy at this job. She got kids and a husband at home. She goes back to home and give her kids and her husband 20% of that energy that's left. So that can involve being angry, attitude, just because of stress, or it can be the man coming home to the wife, the kids. That should have been the one I used, but you know, he comes home giving them the energy he has left. When they take and then and then this job take all the good years of your life, and you spend the last little bit of your life with your family, the not so good parts once you get older, and not in the, as you would say, the prime of your life, right? So, and then not knowing how many times you went to this job or you went to this establishment and people was talking to you crazy. First off, I'm already in here building up, more than likely, something that was built off slave money, and then I'm coming in this mug and I'm getting talked to crazy by other employees or whatnot. Hell no. You think I'm not going to stand up for myself and say nothing? And then me not standing up, so that means I have to come in here every single day willingly, re- just preparing, and I have to every day. I'm just knowing I'm about to come in here and take disrespect every single time as being a man. You have to have more dignity than that, people. The money is not everything when it comes to that. It's not. I'm sorry, it's not. Money is not, man. Your respect and all that comes first. Well, I mean, to me personally, that can differ from other people. You know, um, yeah, you'll get money, but it's at the sense, it's in the expense of getting stripped from that, right? Just imagine you going home, disciplining your kids, and you was just at work a few hours ago, getting bossed around, getting talked to like a straight peasant, and you come home, and then you and then that causes, because if you not the boss at your job, or a supervisor or whatnot, this is where it messes up. So now it's like you going through two different cycles. At home, you the man, you the leader, and then once you go to work, now you getting talked to like a peasant. So it's like leader, peasant, leader, peasant, leader, peasant, leader, peasant. Which one are you gonna be? Are you gonna be a leader, or are you gonna be a peasant? You can't be both. You can't be a leader at home and just a fucking peasant that get talked to crazy by supervisors and bosses or either other employees at your job. But you the leader of the house. So you playing leader and peasant role. Which one are you? Which one are you? And when you a leader, you carry them leadership qualities everywhere you go. You carry that you carry a sense of respect for yourself everywhere you go. It don't be out on the street and then it just turns off when you go to, when you go into a job, just because you want to, because you getting a check. Me uh, me person, me personally, me personally, I don't think as a man that is okay to go through. I mean, I don't think that is okay to put yourself through as a young man or as a man. I just no, I don't. So, however, um, and I'm trying to think of what else she's said. So okay, so that was mainly it. So I told so basically to make my point, um, I it's or to finish my point rather to conclude my point, um, about this whole situation. Don't don't feel don't feel like you have to take disrespect because of some money, because of money. Because with no money, that's the only thing you are left with. Money come and go. Not so much that your integrity, your morals, your dignity. Usually that stays. And if all that goes away, that's all you have, right? And people like that, if a war break out, them the people that you trust. Because mind you, uh, let me give you let me tell you. Nah, it's not an example. I was about to say let me give you an example. But let me tell you, a person that works in that takes disrespect, that take disrespect, or they tell people as being a man, they tell people to like HR or another boss or something about their problems that they're going through. And then that don't always even work in jobs, because some jobs, because the people in HR or the other boss may not like you, depending on how you are, and it can be favoritism. But that's a another I just wanted to throw that out there. But however, if a all out war, if anarchy breaks out, a war breaks out, a person that leads with dignity, morals, things like that. If a war breaks out, them are the people that you trust. And trust me, sooner or later, a war is gonna break out. Sooner or later, man, it's too much going on for one not to. And Trump is trying to run again. This is the first time this ever happened in history in presidency. Trying to run 3 times. It's something to that. Yeah, it's something to that, right? So more than likely, a war is gonna get broke out. Do y'all not know back in 2021 or two, they was doing a New World Order. They were saying in martial law. They were talking about mandating the vaccines and having like army patrol going down certain residential streets mandating vaccines. Um Bill Gates and what's his name, Elon Musk, doing the maybe I'm hopefully my stream don't get striked or took down. Um but it's whatever, right? So it's whatever. Elon Musk and Bill Gates doing the neural links, in a sense trying to create zombies, what can cause and cause people that can be controlled. I mean, damn, they don't even got to do that. Most people are controlled by media anyways, but um they were trying to I think they have already. Um, or they're still in the process of doing it, having trying to put neural links or chips in people's brains to create, in a sense, zombies that can be physically, like literally controlled, watching their every action, watching their every move, partially controlling their every action, their every move by doing that using high tech neural chips. So, based off all that, back in 2020, when they were talking about, or 2021, when they were talking about World War III, that was only 5 years ago. That's still pretty recent. Biden got back in office. First day we back at war. You have all these factors, almost all leading up to this like to this war shit, basically, that can possibly break out sooner rather than later. Where money is not going to mean a damn thing in the actual war. Now, it may mean something before the war happens because you can somewhat stock up and do things like that. But if a war happens, it's anarchy. So so you can, in a sense, you can break into stores. You don't necessarily got to buy anything, right? However, you all the hey shit, what you said, um, you can necessarily break into stores, right? You don't have to buy anything. Now, if you have money, it can better prepare you for the war. And hit keyword prepare you for the war. You can be prepared, but do that mean you're going to actually win the war? Not necessarily. You can come better. You can be better prepared. In boxing, you can be better prepared than somebody, but you can prepare yourself like a mug for this particular fight. But this person might just have better skill than you and still beat you. So, um, however, um, or well, no, I can't. No, that really wouldn't be. It really won't correlate to what I was about to say. Never mind. Um, I ain't even gonna say what I was gonna say, but it would be like that, right? Y'all have all these factors leading up and all these things that's leading up to war possibly breaking out sooner rather than later, right? And let me say this. And let me say this. And let me make this clear. Like I said before, a person that leads with money and that and all they do, everything is about money with them, or everything is about um I'm gonna I'm gonna tell HR, or I'm gonna tell this person because I want to keep my job and I ain't trying to. Hmm. So if a war breaks out, hmm, that's a person you really can't rely on. Use at my ex. Why can't you rely on them? Hmm. Because at this job, they rely on another person to solve their issues for them. Hmm. So they don't even count on themselves to they don't even count on themselves to handle their own problems as a man. And you think if it was something crucial as a war when people are possibly getting hurt or killed even, they are going to able to withstand that? Hmm. Don't think so. Number two. Number two. A person If they take disrespect for money, if they take disrespect, and now this not outside of snitch or telling or snitching to the HR or higher up, right? This aside from that, now if you are doing something, I mean, if you are working and you are taking disrespect for amounts of money, um, you are taking disrespect for amounts of money. So which means you're throwing all self respect out the window. You're throwing all integrity out the window. You're throwing dignity out the window, and you are throwing your whole you're throwing your moral compass as a whole out the window for benefit of money, right? So it will benefit you better, right? Because I see things is about benefit for you, right? Things is about benefit for you because you will give up them qualities that I think personally you should have as a man, that you should have as a man. You are giving them qualities up for benefit. And if you are doing such things for benefit like that, what makes me think that it will you so it makes me think, it won't it a bit if it's me and him in a war and we got our own families, but it's me and him, it will benefit him more for me to put my life on the front line opposed to his. He won't go out there with me because he does things for benefit. He will give up his self-respect and all these other attributes for money because that's the benefit at the end. The benefit at the end, if war breaks out, is me putting my life on the front line and him being able to still live. You get what you hope y'all get what I'm putting down, right? So people like that, no, no. It's when and people, y'all y'all show, like I said, y'all show the same tool that we worship. No, no. Y'all worship the same tool that they y'all worship the same thing that they put here, and some that that still was flowing around heavily doing racism, and y'all worship that so much. I sh- I would get I would get into this, but I'm not gonna get into it. But I'm gonna just give y'all a very vague and brief summary. It's a reason why they put Abraham Lincoln on the copper penny the same color as our skin. It's a reason behind that, but we'll get to that in another stream. I'm gonna just keep it at that. I'm gonna just keep it at that. But it's a reason why that happened. It's a reason. However, do y'all not know most of these when you look at most of these people, like these older like George Washington, um Ben Franklin, do you not know some or most of them presidents at that time owned slaves, had slaves? Do y'all not know that? Pretty sure y'all don't. Or if y'all do, that even makes it worse. But y'all flexing somebody that had your ancestors. You in this mug, you are on Instagram on our social media showing a money spread of slave owners that had your ancestors as slaves. And that's something that y'all worship so much, and y'all don't even notice that. Y'all don't even notice that. That's cause let me ask you a question. If your friend died, if your friend got let's say if your friend got shot in the head with a 45 caliber, mean with a faux nick, a faux five, basically. If your friend got shot in the head with a faux five, and you know his killer, would you be would you be giving his killer reparations? No. Would you flex his killer? Would you shout out his killer on your Instagram page? Would you show his killer some type of respect? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't do that, right? So why do you flex your ancestors' slave owners? Why do you do that? See, but most people don't know that, and that's something that y'all worship so much and don't realize it. So how I look at it, you put that it's so bad to the point where you put that over you put that over your your you put that over certain qualities like or attributes that you should possess as a man that I named multiple times already, right? So so like I said before, you're showing in their face, you're showing dead in their face how much that how how much y'all worship money. And so and then people and then this is what I don't get, right? This is what I don't get about people. People complain about inflation, complain about prices being too high for things. Y'all complain about this stuff, but yet worship money. So this is do y'all not know when something is a hot commodity, when something is super popular, do you not know the value in that goes up? But people don't look at stuff like that, right? Like if like for an example, I'll take a pair of shoes for an example. The Black Cat Jordan 4s, the ones that came out in 2020. I actually have a pair myself. I got them retail, right? So if somebody, um, a lot of people want those. A lot of people had wanted them. I mean, they recently re-released like I want to say probably like a few months ago. They re-released with the Nike sign on the back. Personally, I think them ones are better. But um, however, them was a lot of people wanted those, and they seen on StockX how much people were buying them. And now when you go on StockX, my retail they was only 200. Now you go on StockX, they're a 500 to $1,000 because it's something that people like. Do y'all get what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. They see how much people worship money. So they feel like they can keep inflating the prices of everything because all people gonna do is they still gonna go to work. Only thing they gonna do is just they gonna get another job or they gonna work overtime. They gonna work days like they gonna work Sundays and Saturdays. They gonna work 7 days a week instead of 5. Give us more day time because it shows y'all how much y'all worship it. So when you worship something so much, it goes up in value. It goes up in value. When everybody worships something, when everybody likes something, when everybody wants something, it goes up in value. It goes up. For an example, if you go to a restaurant and it's in a particular food that was at that restaurant was $10, right? Let's say a burger at this restaurant is $10. If everybody keep buying this burger, and it becomes their most popular burger, it's going to be more expensive. Now, next time you may go up there, the burger may be $12, $15 because it's their number one seller. So they're going to charge more for it. Do you get what I'm now? Do you get where I'm going? When you Same thing with money. When they see everybody wants it, everybody likes it, everybody will do anything for it. They feel like they can up the value on things that cost money because only thing people are going to do is work overtime at their jobs, get another job, or work double time. And double time is basically like if your schedule was only Monday through Friday, they will pick up more days. So okay, they're giving us more of their time. We're sucking them we're sucking them out of their energy even more, basically, right? So, but people don't understand it. And here we go. We gonna keep worshiping it, keep worshiping it, keep worshiping it. People never just think and be like, know what? Hey, let's rebel against this. Let's rebel. Let us black people, cause we the main ones that worship it, or at least show it and post it on social media. So that's what it appears to be, right? So why are us people? We should let's rebel against this. Let's rebel. Let's fight for restoration, not reparation, restoration. Let's fight for restoration. And I'm gonna give you a okay. I'm gonna give you a clear example, a clear difference between reparations and restoration. Reparations is okay. We gonna give you, you, bro, you sir. We gonna give you $1 billion. Just give you $1 billion. Now, go ahead, do what you gonna do with it. But you have no ideas what you're gonna do with that. What you're gonna do with that $1 billion. Post to restoration, everything that we built here first, put put it back. If I break something, if my little cousin come over here and break my PS5, or if somebody come over here and break my PS5, hey, you gotta replace that. You gotta restore my PS5. So whatever y'all took or whatever y'all broke down or tried to whitewash, make it back to give it back, make it original again. Do that. Do that. So like the date that y'all have on certain cathedrals or certain or certain buildings that y'all may have the dates on when it was established, like buildings that have fucking Tartarian or Moorish Americans architecture, and it's a and on a building it's a established in 1730. 1730. That's only 300 years ago. Man, that's way beyond 300 years of architecture. That's recent. In the 1700s, that's technically recent, opposed to the time when that architecture was getting created. Put all that back. Take all these stores down that was built off slave money. Give us our shit back. Make it back original. That's what we should fight for. But a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people is okay with this modern day of living. You get what I'm saying? So and money making everything. For some people, is money is the sole purpose of their, I ain't gonna say the sole purpose. It's 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 a it's a it's a very, how people talk, they make it seem like it's the sole purpose of their whole existence. How people talk, they make it seem like it's the sole purpose of their entire existence. The sole purpose of it. The sole purpose is to make something that people that have enslaved your ancestors put here. Put here. Something that enslaved your ancestors put here. And you may ask how they put it here. How do you know white people put it here? Caucasians put it here. Okay, first off, all the when you look at all the colors of the people on dollar bills, what do they appear to be? That's first off. When you look on a dollar bill, what do it say? In God we trust. We know who created God and religion. Okay. So anymore, we know who created that. So it shows you who it comes from. Clearly. And it's something that y'all, and I remember a couple years ago, they people was talking about Harriet Tubman being on the bill. Y'all see, that didn't get passed. You see, they never put Harriet Tubman on the bill. So it shows you they couldn't even put a black woman on a bill. And y'all yet still worship this shit so much. Like, I wish we would put a black woman on a dollar bill. I wish we would put a black woman on a dollar bill. No, they still got their people on the dollar bill. It shows you how much they don't care about you, but yet you still worship something they put here. Something for you to somewhat quote unquote keep chasing for the average person and never make nothing out of it ever. You to go to jobs, people to take their job serious, and you get talked to any type of way, and you aren't, and you can't say anything as a man. Like I said, you're a leader at home, but a, a but a sucker at work. You are a leader at home, the masculine one at home, the man of the house at home, but you a peasant at work. Be one. Carry that all the way around the board. Don't be let 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 that leadership and that mess and your dignity, let that go everywhere. Let it go everywhere. Once you constantly keep turning something off and on, it eventually, let me give you something. Do you not know if you go and you flick on a light, on and off, on and off, on and off, and you flick it, keep flicking it simultaneously for a certain period of time, the light will eventually blow once you keep doing it. So I'm making this example. So, when you do that, the light will eventually blow. If you flick it on and off, let's say for 30 minutes straight, you flick it on and off 30 minutes straight, nonstop, the light will give out and it will blow. Then you will flick and then you realize it's not turning on no more, right? So, so in a sense, it will break. The light breaks. The light will break, right? So, just look at the light. Just like the light is. Let's say if the light, somewhat. This is kind of a funny example, right? Let's say if the light had a conscience, right? And the light was like, I don't know what to be, on or off, on or off. I keep getting flicked on and off, and then it eventually just gives out or breaks. That's the same thing with a person. Once you keep going in and out of, once you keep going into leader, peasant, peasant, you don't know which one to be because you got to keep changing simultaneously. What the, what you think gonna happen to you? That anger and stuff like that. Now it goes on to the people that you love the most, and they ain't doing nothing trying to show you love, but you still a peasant at fucking work. To people that if you drop dead tomorrow will replace you the next day. And based off them getting you angry and you holding all that anger in because you don't want to say nothing to lose your job, you take it out on the people that's back at home. So you get what I'm saying? So that's why I say money is, it's not, it's not the end all be all. I'm gonna just say that. But how people treat it, they make it seem as such. They make it seem like it is the end all be all. That's how they make it seem. That's how they make it seem. That's how that's how they make it seem, right? So, um, and this as well. You have parents, right? You have you have parents, right? Let me give you all an example. Not a really example, but I'm gonna put y'all. I'm gonna say something, right? I'm gonna say something. You have parents. You have parents, right? All right. Got parents telling their child to go to work and to, let me let me let me give you an example. let me say, in religion, right? This how the word is so. This is another way the word is so messed up, right? In religion, they say in the Bible, in church, your God is a jealous God, right? And you shouldn't worship nobody but Him, right? Right, 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 right. Okay. So I shouldn't worship nobody but my God, because He's a jealous God. Well, women. Oh, and I forgot to say this too. And God made, or how they say, God made everyone in His image. Hmm. Okay. Even though that don't make sense. I mean, it sounds like non-remedial, but however, you worship God, you agree with Him being a jealous God. But let me ask you this: if you get into a relationship, would you find it appeasing for your partner or your man to be jealous? I don't think you would, right? I'm pretty sure that'll be like somewhat of a turnoff to you, right? You wouldn't really enjoy that, right? Right. Okay. 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 So I said that. Now, let me say this. When you parents, right? When your parents, when you parents do things like this, y'all say, tell your children to go to work. If they say anything to you, don't worry about it. In a sense, don't speak up for yourself because they is your boss. They is above you. They are above you. So just bite the bullet. You will tell your kids that. Let's say, preferably, you will tell your young son, you'll tell your young male son that your son. You'll tell your son that. But if you was to get a man, right, and he was to come to tell you about how he was getting talked to at work, and then you may ask him, "Did you say anything back?" And he say no every single time, that would somewhat be a turn off to you. You won't like that man no more. Or you will slowly start to not like that man or lose some sort of respect for that man. Because you see, he doesn't even have self-respect for himself. So in a sense, it would kinda decrease for you, if you follow me. So, in a sense, what my whole point is, you're creating the exact man you don't like in your son. You're creating the same man that you deem unattractive by certain traits he possesses in your son. Literally, that's what you're doing. And y'all don't find that concerning. So people, it's and most parents tell their sons to help them or to get a job just because they may need help, really. They need help. So it's really for their benefit, really, for the most part. Um, I'm not saying all, because some kids may just do want to work. Not saying that. And if you do, and hey, that's fine. That's you. But all I'm saying is this: don't bite your tongue if you are feel like you're getting disrespected by another man. It's two masculinities. It's mano y mano. Masculinity versus masculinity. I can't be a young man or inspiring to be a man to have children and family. And then this. Let's say if you got kids, right? If you're a young man aspiring to have kids, and they say, and your children ask, Dad, how was your life? How was it when you was working at such and such job? If you ever told them a story like that, how was it? Nothing. I had an annoying boss and all that. Oh, how was and your parent children ask? Oh, how was he annoying? What was he doing? Just always used to yell at me and all that. Did you do anything? No, I ain't do nothing. Just imagine telling your son that. Like, damn, my dad don't stand up for himself. And then, but if they see you out on the street, then they see you totally stand up for yourself. Mean if you out on the streets or if you out with them, and if something goes down to the point where you will have to stand up for yourself, you do. But you blatantly just told them that you didn't really stand up for yourself. And if you do, and if you lie and tell them, yeah, I used to talk to him and I used to say things back. Now you're lying. And when you lie about something, you know what you was doing was some whole shit, right? So, well, it wasn't no honorable thing. It wasn't a thing that was honorable. It wasn't no thing with it wasn't no honorability within it, right? So, um, that's what I'm gonna say about that. And if people come watch the stream, hey, leave your comments down below. Whatever, say anything, like the video, dislike it, whatever. Don't really matter. Man, I don't support is support. You know, um, I don't take dislikes to heart. If you dislike it, like it. Don't dislike it, maybe. And maybe you just didn't agree with what I said, and that's cool. That's fine. But because I'm not telling you to not work. If you want, like I just said before, if you want to work, fine, work then. That's up to you. That's up to you. But I'm just telling you the true essence of working and money, and to have and to have respect for yourself in order to not take that type of behavior from other people just for money based off working a job. That's all I'm telling you. So you take that how you want it. Cause I know I'm not. I know I'm not. When you do stuff like that, that means you're a sellout for money. When you would do things like that, that means you're a sell out for money. You're a sellout for money. And it be these same people that talk about, even though we know that's not true, but man, I'm gonna sell. Man, I would never sell my soul. If I got a rep, I never sell my soul. Man, get the hell out of here saying that dump. Man, I'd be in shit. Man, I'd be the slept up. So lame man. Get out of here. Like for real. If you say that I never sell my soul for money, even though you don't, you don't really sell your soul. We know that, but we just going with how the majority of people think, right? I never sell my soul for no money, but in a sense, you're selling your self respect, your dignity. In a sense, your masculinity for money, because you're being so submissive to people just because they are in a higher position to you than you. You feel so you feel like is you can't say anything back, or you have to sit up there and take a certain amount of disrespect. So um that's what I'll say about that, right? But we're gonna move into the next topic, right? And I got more streams coming soon, man, on a lot of other topics, man. I just throw a few out there. We got something on rap music. We got something. I got something on rap music. I got something on yay. I got something yay as in what Kanye. I got something um dating back to the um the virus. I don't know if it's a flag word on here, so I don't want to say it. But y'all know CVID, that virus, CVID virus. If y'all know, I'm going to talk about that too, even though I know it's not really a big thing anymore. But I'm going to show y'all how. But that stream is going to be about they they set how this was thought out and premeditated, right? And it's just to show you how they get down and they put it in your face as if they didn't know about anything and it just comes out of nowhere, right? So, and that's going to branch off into other things too, but them three, I got more too, but them are three ones that I particularly got waiting. Um, I got in store for y'all, right? Um, and two, I'm going to start going, and I do want to make this announcement too before I get into the females and the males, as I said in the beginning of the stream. Um, I am going to start I'm going to start doing streams from my phone, since I don't have no camera, because I just had remembered, like, oh yeah, you can I forgot I can do streams from my go on my YouTube page and click the live button. So I'm gonna start um showing my face when I talk, because me personally, I think that it's better to do that. It's no point in hiding it, and that's not what I'm doing. I just don't have a camera on my PlayStation, right? So, but if I had a camera, I would show my face. Um, but yeah, so I'm going to start doing when I'm talking like this. I'm going to start doing my streams um like on my phone, on my phone, show my face, show y'all who's actually talking, even though I have my face on my stream, on my page. Go down on my video from, like, I think it's called religion. So, and I have my face in my thumbnails, but still, when somebody talking to you, you want to see them, you want to see their face. It's more of a, I just say it's more of a thing to do. It's out of respect, you know. Um, and it's something that's a little more honorable to do, instead of hiding behind a screen as what it may appear to be, right? Um, However, but I think on the phone, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know. I think it's a time limit though. I think you only can stream for a certain amount of time on the phone. I can't be wrong though. But however, so Next topic, right? So we're going to go on. We're going to talk about males and females, right? So me and my uncle today, right? We were um talking about males and females, and he had brought up he be looking at podcasts, and he see certain black men speaking, or copper race men speaking on them being happier or feeling happier with the white women because white women are more submissive. They're not as masculine as black women, right? And I was like, okay, 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 okay. And I goes to say this, right? I say and this segment gonna be quick because we didn't really spend a lot of time on it. Well, yeah, we really didn't, because we talked about it, but then we ventured off into something else. Um, well, I hope I don't spend a lot of time on it, knowing me. But I was like, well, it's an epidemic of weak men, though. It's an epidemic of weak men. So the when we eat certain things, when we do certain things, it almost do reverse to us. When a woman smoke weed, comes off as more masculine. When a man smoke weed, when a woman smoke weed, they can portray to be more masculine. When a man smoke weed, it lowers their T levels. It lowers testosterone levels, right? So I goes on to say, well, it's an epidemic of weak men out here. So do I really do I blame the women fully for being masculine in the way they are? No. Should they be masculine? No. But do I blame them all the way? Do I 100% blame them for the way they are? No, I don't. Because if we had more masculine men out here and not so many feminine like men, women would know their position in being in that feminine role. They would know their position within being in that feminine role, instead of trying to take the masculine role. Because the men it's the men that we have, look at the things that they do. When you look, I see certain dudes doing that clock it thing with the fingers. You see dudes painting their nails. You see dudes following every and all, damn near all trends, which is not leadership behavior. And as a man, that's one thing that you should have, leadership qualities. But a lot of men clearly lack that. So that's three things. You have dudes using feminine slang. You're dude saying twin. That's one. Dude saying um um like particularly Dana Gray and if y'all know these guys, Dana Gray and Adrian Broner. They stream together now. And I'm pretty sure their supporters follow behind this, saying and this feminine talk. When you look at and when they say things like the other day, I forgot who it was, but I heard somebody saying I forgot who it was, but somebody said it was a guy, but they said something about, man, bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro, that shit was messy. Like I'm like, niggas, like, bro, you're a guy using the word messy. Like, oh, that's messy. Like that's women talk. So you got all these. So you possess all these feminine. Possess feminine traits. Use feminine slang, and you expect women to move in a way of the typical woman would move, as most people would say, in the 1960s or the 1970s. You expect them to move like that, very leading behind you, housewife. Y'all expect all this, but then y'all do things like this, going outside, wearing bonnets, all this shit, getting piercings, and you know what you get where I'm going. So y'all have this, right? Okay. Y'all possess these traits. Y'all possess these traits and expect a woman to move like a traditional woman that y'all will want. And this goes back into my etiquette stream that I had made. No self awareness. You are so focused about what they're doing and not focused on what you're doing, or focused on the, or not necessarily what you're doing, but how most men are, because you're talking about most women in this case. So you're talking about black women as a whole. So you're so focused. It's always, like, I'm gonna tell you this. It's best to focus on what you are not good at as opposed to what you are good at. If you go into a gym and you are good at throwing a jab, but you are not good at doing um but you are good at throwing punches, but you are not good at footwork. So everything that you are not good at, you should focus on more, because that is where you lacking at the most. And that's what most dudes worry about so much. Y'all worry about so much about women being masculine that y'all don't even notice that y'all are becoming more feminine. And it's based off things that y'all do in your day-to-day lives. And y'all don't pay attention to that. Cause y'all are so worried about women being masculine. Okay, we know that. But do y'all know that men are becoming more feminine? If y'all do, but do y'all know the reasons why men are becoming more feminine? The global sperm count, all time low in black men. Well, men in general. Smoking weed. You are smoking weed at the age of, most kids start smoking weed at the age of 14 to 15 years old. You are killing something. You are hindering yourself before your brain, you are hindering yourself before your body is fully developed or your brain is fully developed. You are already killing neurological cells before they all the way develop by the age of 26 years old. And that's like the first quarter of development. And the second quarter development come around like 42 years old. Bet a lot of y'all didn't know that. Or let me not say that. I don't want to speak with ego here. I digress. However, however, 26, you are hindering something before it even fully develops. You got men 21 in their early 20s needing enhancements to have sex. You need men that are 21 years old. They need perks. They need honey packs. They need the rhino pills you get from the store at certain like local liquor stores. They need all these enhancements to perform because of the of erectile dysfunction based off habits that y'all possess and the lack of T levels that y'all has. And we were talking about specifically white women and black men and white men. Now, naturally, starting off with the males, naturally, black men have a higher testosterone than the average white man. Mean the average black man has higher testosterone than the average white man. The average black woman has the strength of an average white man. So that's hence we are more athletic than them. We have stronger, thicker bones than them. We have all, and we ultimately have brought up, not to get too graphic, anything like that. We had brought up um size, right? And I mean no, and I'm being serious here. I'm not being funny. We know that black men possesses the most, on average, possess more size than the white man in a particular area of the body, right? We know this, even though they try to say that it's 5.5 or 6.3 inches across the board with everybody, but we know that's not the case. That's not the case at all, right? Um, However, we possess more size than them. So it, how can I say this? So okay. So what we typically do for the most part, on average, like they say that like, but the average for them is the average for them, right? But if no homo, when I'm gonna say this, if a black man has the average of their size, or has if a black man has their size average, they will be considered no homo small. So let's continue. Now we end up bringing up white women and black men. I mean, white women and black women. End up bringing up white women and black women. So I said nature knows that nature. Okay, for an example, you don't see sharks hanging with dolphins, right? And this whole conversation got brought up because I asked him about, and I'm gonna continue. I asked him about because I forgot I left this part out on mistake. My apologies. I said um what do you think about white women, I mean black men fully committing to white women or dating white women? That's what I had asked him, right? So that's how this conversation got brought about, and I'm gonna go back to that, but I'm gonna finish this point. So back to my point, you have sharks. You don't see sharks hanging with dolphins. You don't see lions hanging with lions. You don't see cheetahs hanging with tigers. Right. Okay. They're all part of the same species, though. They're all, meaning they're all cats. They're all cats. Okay. And that's by nature because if anybody followed the true laws of nature more than anything on earth, it is animals. Right? Okay. Who is more in tune with nature for the most part? Animals. Right? Or particularly, they are more in tune with their element. Us as people, we're not. First of all, we're not even in nature. So even if you can call yourself going outside meditating in your front lawn, if you live in a city, that's not in nature at all. That's technically not even considered. I mean, it's grounding, but when they got all the pipes that run under the ground that's connected to your house and maybe other people's houses, railroad tracks under the ground, all this that is not true nature. It's not nature at all. So I'm not even going to say true nature because it's something to be true got to be false, fake. So not necessarily. It's just not nature, right? Okay. So nature is very smart. Nature is very smart. So you think that nature is going to, because we was talking about the women vaginal region and how deep it is, and he was like the average is 3. So I was like, okay, when you look it up, it say 3. Okay, we know that. When you look that up, it say 3. When you look up the average penile size, it say no, and no homo. It says 5 or 6, right, in that area. But and they say that across all races in the U.S. I would think so in the U.S. Just the U.S. maybe, but we know that's not true, so we can scratch that. So take that right there with a grain of salt, and then you have to think: who is Google and Chrome and all this owned by? Who is YouTube and all this stuff owned by? I'm gonna give y'all a hint. Um, it's owned by the person that had a funny looking mustache back in like the 19 between the 19 late 1930s for in the 40s. He had a funny looking mustache. He was German, and he did genocide on a particular group of people that start with a J. And it's actually the name of my YouTube page, but not spelled like mine. Or it's the end. It's the JU part, but it's spelled different. We them people own that. We know we know who own all these companies, and they are more closely related to white people, right? At least modern day people like that. And I don't want to say it because I think it might be a hot word. Well, no, it's not. Is it? Jews, Jews. Okay, so Jews. Because I hear people say it a lot on. So it may not. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it is not. But we know we know this, right? Right. So a lot of statistics or stats is going to. I'm not saying all, but some statistics or stats is going to benefit them more so than us, or they would try to put themselves on the same level as us. I remember if I looked up this, right? I said, how long? I mean, I was like, who was the first people here? Or who was the first humans, or something like that, or who was the first race? That's what I said. Who was the first race of people on Earth? You know what they told me on Google when you looked up? It was Homo sapiens, monkeys, basically like monkeys that turned into men. That's what they said. We know that's not true. And it was turning to a Caucasian male. And how would that be the first, and why always a male when the women give life? So it really should be a woman, but that wasn't the case. They showed a Homo sapien, and it was turning to a Caucasian male. And then I asked, what was the first skin color? I think, what did I say, skin color on this earth? And they say darker skinned people. They couldn't say they couldn't say um just black people, or they couldn't say copper race people. They say dark skinned people. So certain things like that, you just can't. So what I'm saying is, certain things, okay, Google, your best friend, but also that other 50% of certain things is not always conclusive, right? Um, so, or I guess you can say valid, right? Um, so I said nature is smart. If nature knows, by nature, we have a bigger average than them, right? So, in a sense, the black woman naturally has a deeper vaginal region because it's tailor made for us. White women tailor vaginal region is tailor made for their kind, right? And you may say, why um it's tailor it's our women vaginal route is tailor made for. That's why if you as a black man get with a white woman and have sexual relations with them, that's why they can be seem or become more aroused based off the sexual intercourse, even though it's also what they feel because our skin possess something called dark matter, right? So it's something that they also feel, almost like etheric, right? Um, kind of, sort of, and and it's something that they feel. Our body, our skin has a certain vibration, or as you can say, or frequency that the um the a Caucasian don't have, right? Three. Well, that's another video. I'll say that for another video. But or another stream or whatnot. Another stream, another stream. So that's why when you have intercourse with a white or a Caucasian woman, if you will, it's it's more arousal there, opposed to if a white man hit a black woman, it's not as much arousal there, and they won't mind going back to messing with their own, opposed to a white woman may only mess after they mess with their first black guy, and keep messing with black guys, or that's the majority they're messing with, because it's more sexual arousal there, because it's beyond their vaginal limits based off the males, off the male, off the average white male size that they possess, right? So I hope y'all understood where I was getting at with there, getting at there, um, and hold on, okay, my bad, so that is the so yeah, that was that, and that's all. That's wait. Trying to see. Did we talk? Did we say anything else? I'm trying to think. Um, um, I don't think so. I don't think so. We like man, no, we did talk about some other stuff. We started going off into like oh no, my bad. Hold on, I'll be right back, y'all. Hold on, give me 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Back, I'm back. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Okay, so what I did say, so um, yeah. So what I meant to say, what I left, when I almost left out. Now when I brought up this situation to him, I asked him, what do you think, how do you view, or what do you think about um white mean black men dating white women. And I can't remember everything. He's I think he said something about one thing that stood out that he said that I can remember pretty vividly. He said you can get a white woman, but you have to make sure that her family accepts you, right? And I said, yes, that is true. I said it's mainly the dads. I said it's mainly the dads. But and me and Cheese talked about this one we talked about this a particular time too before. Um and I said you have to make sure that they do accept you. All right. You don't necessarily have to make sure. I mean, that's up to you, personally. That's up to you. That's up to you. Um, but however, he asked me how I felt or what I thought about this situation. And I said, um, I said I think black men that only predominantly date or not only, I just start saying the same thing too twice, but that predominantly dates white women and takes them serious has self-esteem issues. Um, they have low confidence because white black women may be too much to handle for them, and they may feel like they don't have the qualities to appease a black woman, so they go to a white woman just because, or white women that like black dudes. Suppose a white woman, they may find a white woman that just like black dudes because it is easier for black dudes to get white women because black women are more aroused by black men. And a black man can do or have the bare minimum. Like a black woman, she may care about how you dress and things like that. A white woman don't care about that long as you black. Like you can have the bare minimum qualities and still get a white woman. So that's my whole point of saying self-esteem issues. Self-esteem issues. Um, that's one. Now, ain't nothing. Now, before I get to my next point, there ain't nothing wrong with dating white women. Or if that's what you do, that's what you do. What I well, I won't say that on stream, but if you do, you do what you do. Ain't nothing wrong with dating white women. I'm not saying that, but it's on. But what I'm saying is, if you only date white women, or you have only dated white women, then it may be an issue somewhere that's unknown, but it is well, it's pretty known, but I mean unknown as in you haven't spoke on why you only date white women. It's just something for me to put together, like sequence, like okay, he only like white women because this probably happened to him with black women and this, that, and that, right? So low confidence issues. That's one. Two, two. You are not again, again. You are not to be. I don't. In a sense, it is hard to trust you, depending on the circumstance. Though, if you have a white woman and her family or her dad is racist, or um, racist, don't like black people, right? It and you will stick with her. You wouldn't stop dating her. So you would just accept the fact that her family is racist and don't like the fact that you are with their daughter, right? So you just accept that willingly. Okay, it's her people's racist. They don't like me. Cool. So what that person being Caucasian, the woman that you are dating, and her parents don't like you, and let's say something major was to happen. Something was to happen, right? And it was something where she had to pick between you or her parents. Who do you think she's gonna go with? Whose side do you think she is going to be on? She is going to more than likely be on the side of her parents to go against you. If she was if she had like no choice, basically, or she had to make a choice to be on a side, pick a side. She's going to pick the side where it's more comfort at, or where it is where she is because you got black families that's not accepting of black families that is not accepting of them their sons dating white women. So it's like, what side you think she's going to go with? More than likely she's going to go with her people's. More than likely. So cuz and this is why I say this. White women, I'm going to say this. Y'all take this how y'all want. Well, white women is not always genuine with them, far as them liking you. It's only them. It's really, it's mainly only them liking you because you're black, and they understand them wanting the sex from a black man, or wanting the sexual interaction or intercourse with a black man. But that don't means that, okay. So basically the whole time, like, say if she approach you, y'all go out. I mean, you out, she approach you. More than likely, she's she's probably thinking about one, maybe two, maybe three things. But all of them are things that can possibly be sexual, right? And if you okay looking guy, right? So it's it's so you can't necessarily base that off of, like, don't get me wrong, black women do it too though. Black women do it too. But um we're we're not going to um say that or think that white women or Caucasian women, apologies, Caucasian women date black men for genuine reasons, or looking at that black man and be like, and like, oh, okay, yeah, like I can start something with him. Okay, like he this, he's that. It's a higher chance of a black woman looking at a black man like that, opposed to a white woman looking at a black or a Caucasian woman looking at a black man like that. Right. So, and anyways, even and no matter what race you in, if anything is just strictly sexual intercourse with somebody, that don't mean y'all are truly connected. Y'all are connected with each other based off you having s- sexual intercourse with that person. Y'all are connected technically, but physically or verbally out your mouth, you would say, "No, that ain't my girl," or "No, shit, I don't mess with her like that. She okay. Me and her do a little thing here and there, but you don't claim her to be your girlfriend." Or if she was to, or in a sense, she's free to do whatever she want with any other male. 'Cause you don't really have a care because she's only that to you, a person that you have sexual intercourse with. So it's no true, it's no genuine feelings for each other. It's only for sex. Is what I'm saying, and that's in any. So that's whether it's black on black, black on white, black on Mexican, white on Mexican. It don't. It that doesn't matter. But we know who mainly have that notion: white and black women. Or I mean, no, black men and white women. Or white women mainly have that about black men, right? Um. So then we had starting a family too. If you start a family with a white woman. Now the difference is of her may not taking your side is maybe because she does have a white family. Meaning she has a child by you. She has a child by you. That and that's still even 50-50, right? Next point. So now when you have interracial kids, now personally, interracial kids, it's an imbalance within their DNA. Like me and Cheese talked, like I talked about it. He didn't necessarily agree with me, which is fine. As a man or a young man, you shouldn't agree with what another man says all the time, anyways. So that's fine, right? But however, when you have mixed children, it's uh it's something wrong. It's a it's almost like the telomeres. So I'm gonna give y'all what telomeres are. Is something within your DNA, right? And if your telomeres are, I'm gonna give y'all now. This has nothing to do with mixed or fully black or white or whatever, right? When you have shorter telomeres, you can be a little on a more on a mental side, right? Maybe a little off. If your telomeres is normal, you may be just simply just regular, right? Um, Now mixed with biracial kids, it's um it's a basically like a defect within their DNA. Hence why most I ain't gonna say most, not gonna say most, but it's a possibility that's because some that I hang around and some that I know personally are a little on the mental side, and I'm not saying slow or dumb. I'm talking about kind of like crazy, basically. And they still take on the characteristics of a white person, even though people would be quick to call or still say a biracial person is technically black. Or cop, but that's not the case. And I'm gonna give you an example here, right? If I got gasoline, right? I put it in my car goes, okay. And before I said, y'all say, because y'all like to say black is the more dominant gene, okay, right? You put water, if you put water in gas, right? Now you may ask, what is more dominant? Hmm, you should know. Gas has is more dominant than water, right? Okay, okay. So is water more natural? Yes, it's a natural element. But is it more dominant than gas when being mixed together? No. Um the gas takes most of its potency, right? If water and gas was combined. Now, if I was to pour water inside of my gas and I was to put it inside of my car, would my car run the same? No. I don't think my car will run the same. I drive and eventually my car probably shut down. But I thought water was more dominant. So it's basically still gas, right? No. So biracial is biracial. They're not black. They're not. Okay? They're not black. They're not. But however, just like okay, so y'all so what I was just talking about the jobs, about being going to work and being a going to work, being a peasant, coming home, being a leader. Same thing with biracial children. They not accepted by their white family because they white family still look at them black, and then is every time the father or the granddad of the child looks at him, or and the grandmother even looks at him, they're reminded of the black man that they didn't want their daughter dating or didn't really approve of their daughter dating, right? And so they view the grandchild just as they view the grandchild as black, basically. So it's no true love coming from that side of the family. So that's already getting messed up. That's already bad for a child's mental, quote unquote. And now he goes around his black family, and then it may be complications there because most mixed kids still have the characteristics of white people. And so now he may go around his family on that side and still and may get talked about, or people may make slight comments or slight jokes about him not acting black, may say certain things about him not living up to the stereotypical black person would by everybody most people logic about that person being of that person being black because they technically black according to everybody's according to the most of the world logic, right? He's black. Or hypothetically, let's say if or I mean not hypothetically, but let's say instance he goes around his family, he acts a certain way. He goes around his white family, he portrays himself a certain way. He portrays himself a certain way around his family, portrays himself a certain way around that family, just to seek some type of acceptance, right? So it causes like a slight identity crisis because you know your mom is white, your dad is black. So it's like you don't feel white enough, you don't feel black enough. Meaning, another example, you would get pulled over and you will play your mixed role pretty good, pretty good in front of a cop. But if you go into a different area, you'll you would a different area or a location, you will try to play that you will try to be more of you will play more of a black person's role. So and that messes up a child, right? We know who shows their kids more like who's who give their kids more disciplinary actions. Not saying discipline as far as whooping your kids and things like that. It's okay. That's slavery, but um it stems from that. And but we're gonna talk about oh and I forgot too, I got another stream coming up. It's about religion too. We're gonna go back into that as well. I almost so that's four. For I mean I have more too, but I did forget that one. That's one I did want to mention. Um, but however, um, back to my point. Um, so we know who shows the most disciplinary actions on their children. Mainly black parents, right? Black parents. Not saying that it's okay, as far as like whooping your children and things like that. Not saying it's okay. Not saying it's okay. But he has a white mom. White moms are a little more are a lot more lenient. The average white mom is more lenient than the average black mom, right? Um, especially when it comes to handing out whoopings and spankings, right? So he's around that side of the family. He's not really getting that, but he's also not very liked by his family either. Or I mean, he may be getting that, but not from the mother. I would say, um, he's not getting that from the mother as much, right? Or maybe even the father of that mother, right? Maybe. It depends. It depends. It depends. Depending on the relationship with the mother and the father. Um, but now, if that same mixed kid goes around, let's say his black family, now he thinks he can talk the same way there that he talks to his family on the white side or do the same things, and but he can't. And then you back and forth within two types of different cultures. You back and forth in two type of different cultures, so you really can't identify with one of them. That's another thing. So that it so in a sense it caused an identity. It caused somewhat of an identity crisis within mixed children, which causes them to maybe spaz out the way they do, or to be somewhat kind of lunaticish. That's not a word, but that's what causes them to be that. Or I ain't gonna say all of them, but the ones I have been around, and it's more likely, and I'm pretty sure it's possibilities of other ones that's like that. Um, if you going if you're going off statistics, like I say, statistics okay, okay, it's okay if you want to use them sometime, but like I say, statistics can be skewed as well too. I may add, and a statistic is basically like a religious person. Let me give you an example for people that say, well, you got to look it up statistically. The Bible. Look at the Bible. In the Bible, it tells you God's description, the way he looks, and all this. And ultimately telling you that God exists. He is a real person, right? Look at the Bible. Just imagine the Bible being the statistic that God is a real person. And he may not come, and the Bible also say he may not come when you need him. He may not come when you need him, but he will be there on time, right? But he didn't do that with slavery, but that's a different story. Like, we gonna get to that in the religion stream. We gonna get to that. Well, I ain't gonna. I'm gonna say that. But um, the statistic is the Bible saying God is real. All right. Hmm. Well, if God is real, I haven't seen him. I don't know what he looked like. I never seen him. Or you can go with logic and reality and say he's not real because I never seen him. Opposed to saying I'm going off statistics. The Bible is the statistic and saying he is real. So just because the Bible, which is i.e. the statistics saying he's real, that means he's real? No. Or you gonna go with logic using saying, well, logically speaking, I have never seen this guy ever. So he can't be real. So fuck a statistic. Fuck what a Bible say because I never seen him. That's what I'm saying. Right? So um however, however, um it causes a white child to have identity crisis. You know. And that puts a lot of stress on the child from a young age. That put a lot of stress on the child from a young age, and also possibly not getting accepted by their white side of the family because their white side of the family still look at them as being black, opposed to being like them. And the dislike for the dad will ultimately go on to the child. It may not be as bad as the father's, just because they look at it as well, like, okay, this still is my daughter's son. But if the dad got 100% dislike, you may have 50 of that 100% dislike that your dad had. So you may not have the 100% dislike, but you may have 50% of that dislike. So they may dislike him 100%. They may like you 50%, and depending on how you conduct yourself around them, if you act too ghetto, if you or if you act a certain way, like you or considerably ghetto, quote unquote ghetto, that you get from your black family, the way you conduct yourself around that white family, it can enhance them to dislike you even more than they already do. So it can enhance the dislikeness that they have for you. So depending on how you conduct yourself around them, like if they see you may act like a thug, or you may sag your pants, you may listen to a certain type of music, or you may got a certain you sag your pants, listen to a certain type of music, the slang words that you use, the way you talk, the way you articulate certain sentences or certain words you may say, or or certain things you may do, they pay attention to that, and it may cause them to dislike you more. And then, like I say, when you're light skinned, when you already light, when you're now, this is personal from experience from what I've been around. When you are light skinned, you walk around with more of a chip on your shoulder, opposed to somebody that is like, I'll just say this: light skinned dudes are way more emotional than a brown skin or a dark skinned guy. More emotional. They get more in their feelings depending on what you say to them. They For an example, I know a few. I know it was this one guy in school that I used to this one guy that I graduated with. Um Cheese know how I'm talking about. His name started with an E. His name started with an E. He is now incarcerated right now. Him, he was emotional, you know. Um Light skinned too, and he was mixed, by the way. Um you got you got and I'm naming people personal, right, that I know. You got it's somebody else that I know. Somebody else that I know personally. His name started with, it's one of my uncle friends. He very emotional. All he do was sit up and, I remember one day, man, no, I'm not even bullshitting you. It was one day I was doing, it was around the time when the Cool Gray Jordan 9s came out. Back in like back like last, I want to say like last year, I think like last year, about like last year, the Cool Gray Jordan 9s came out. And I set up at this store called Snipes, and we was getting them because he was about to get ready to do a he was about to get ready to resell them. And the whole eight, we sat up there for like 6 to 8 hours. The whole 6 to 8 hours, bro, he talked about this one dude. He talked about him the whole entire time. non-stop the whole time, and he was still going on his Insta or going on his page and look like, bro, you look at this, look what he post, still do, and stuff like that. Light skinned guy, even though both his parents are black, but light skin, lighter complexion. Um, uh, uh, and then another thing too, light skins, it's like they lack sense of humor. It's another light skinned too dude that I know too, but most light skinned dudes, they lack a sense of humor. Reason why I think they lack a sense of humor. Now, I'm not saying this is true by any means, but I'm just giving my opinion on this right here, like true opinion. Um, in my honest opinion, I think they um lack that they lack a sense of humor because they feel like, and they know, if they show too much sense of humor, it's almost like subconscious. When they show too much sense of humor, or when they show themselves laughing, or they're too funny, already going off the fact that they're light skinned, you know, light skin, high yellow, curly hair, maybe color eyes. When they are, and then when they're being funny too, being too open, being too friendly, it can come off as like people already view you as being a certain way, like sweet. And then to go along with them traits, it can it can amp the sweetness amplifier can go up for you, opposed to somebody that's being dark skinned or brown skinned having a sense of humor, right? Like, for an example, a lot of people think that because they may be maybe not the most attractive, or maybe dark skinned, or super black or whatever, they 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 think of themselves as being tough because they look a certain way. Most light skinned dudes, no, I don't look I don't look that tough. So I gotta so I already don't look tough. I already don't look like I pose a threat, right? So the best way I can look like I pose a threat is by being stoic and not really having a sense of humor and somewhat lacking in that department. I already don't look it. Let me not act it too. Let's not do both. If I don't look it, I at least gotta act it for the most part, right? Depending on the area and the scenario and the group of people you're around, or the crowd you're around, right? So to my point, most light skinned dudes walk around with a chip on their shoulder already. So when they go into certain areas, and then they will feel like that they have to go above and beyond to prove themselves that they fit in, because they appear to look a certain, or not appear, but because they look a certain way. Then when they go around their white family, they're not really accepted, and it more than likely been going on since they've been a young kid, a young child, right? And I also do hear a lot of mixed people when they when it's like that. Usually, when they get older, they usually don't mess with their mom side of the family. Now, I'm not necessarily saying because it is it is it is it's because of the family being racist. It can be anything, but I hear that a lot. I hear that a lot. They may mess with their mom, and that's about it. But the family as entirety, no. Sometimes even the mom, well, even black households, say the moms get cut off too. So, but and two, if y'all don't know, do you not know when you have when a black man has a baby by a white woman has to per, particularly have to get a specific shot to prevent a miscarriage. I can't think of the shot, what it's called, but they have to get a shot when they're impregnated by a black man to prevent miscarriages. That's to tell you, when a black man has a baby by a black man, do they have to get a shot? No. When a white man has a white woman, when a white man has a baby by a white woman, does she have to? Mean when yeah, when a white man have a baby by a white woman, does she have to get a shot? No. But why, when a black man has a baby by a white woman, she has to take a particular shot? Hmm. That's to show you right there that that is not natural. In a sense, you're not supposed to mix them two DNAs. So that is, and when something is not natural, I'm gonna just say this: when something is not natural, don't expect it to have the best outcome. For an example, if you have a fruit that is GMO, that is not, so if you have a watermelon that is not natural, right? If you have a watermelon that is not natural, don't expect it to give you the same benefits that a natural watermelon will give you. If a orange is GMO and it's not natural, don't expect that orange to give you the same nutrients and the same benefits that a a real orange will give you or a natural orange will give you, because it's not natural. So if you have a child in somewhat of a not natural way, don't expect your child to come out with everything intact and to be normal. So that's all I got for y'all today, man. And we will come up with new streams coming on the way about what I said, and hope you enjoy. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and till next time.